Thank you, Atika. Back here in the United States, the gloves are off, and the claims of racism are flying back and forth between the NAACP and the Tea Party. The civil rights organization is calling on the grassroots political group to flush out the, quote, racist elements in its ranks. But many Tea Party activists say there aren't the biased ones. They aren't the biased ones. Well, just listen to the Reverend C.L Bryant. Earlier this year at a Tea Party rally, he used to be a charter president for the NAACP. Keep that in mind.
To say this to you today. You politicians are building walls between the people. You're building walls of misunderstanding. You're building walls of hatred. You're building walls of racism. You're building walls of classism. And in the words of Ronald Reagan when he spoke to Mikhail Gorbachev at the Berlin Wall, Mr. Obama, tear down.
Well, the Reverend C.L Bryant really got him going, and he's joining us now live from Shreveport, Louisiana. Thank you so much for taking the time, sir. Reverend, you had that Tea Party crowd really fired up. So what do you think about this new resolution from the NAACP?
Well, unfortunately, those types of statements are driven, and they are echoes of the left at this point in time. The Tea Party has, over the last few months, and since its inception, always, we've been about lower taxes, less government, and more fiscal responsibility. That does, in itself, identify who we are, and it really has nothing to do with race. We have always repelled and discouraged anyone who have come to our rallies.
You just said that was a message that was coming from the left when you were talking about the NAACP's message. Now, that was from the summer, that speech that you gave. And you said in the speech, you brought up racism. You said that the president was building walls of racism. Do you think that message is, how can you say it's just coming from the left? You just said the same thing.
Right. There are walls that have been built of racism in this country since this administration has taken oath of office. And I say that to say this. This country is more divided now, racially, than any other time in modern history. And one of the reasons for that, I feel and fear, is because it is very convenient to play the race card when you have a black president. But if anyone voted for this president because of his color, then I would say to you that was very foolish.
Well, how can you say that this country is more divided than ever? I mean, when you think about some of the reasons that for the Civil War, I mean, it was racism. The country was divided. I mean, actually divided along a line. That's what the Mason-Dixon line is all about. How can you say that the country is more divided now? I mean, it's not, for lack of a better word, that black and white, because there's progress in other ways. I'm sitting here on television. You're doing what you're doing. I don't know if we would be doing this at some other point in time.
When we take into consideration since 1965, when I received the right to vote, and where we sit now, as you very adeptly said, here in 2010, and you and I both are on television, and we have the opportunities we have, but yet we're still talking about race in this country. There evidently is a place of division that exists in modern society.
Are you
not
saying we shouldn't be talking about it? We
but
shouldn't
since
talk about race?
1965. I'm sorry, I say again.
Are you saying we shouldn't talk about race?
Of course we must talk about race, but it must have a more intellectual tone.
Okay.
Because African Americans in this country are now more diverse than we ever have been before.
As I'm talking to you now, you're seeing the pictures of people, with monkeys, Obamacare, with the thing, the bone through his nose and all of that. And you've been to these Tea Party rallies. Have you not seen any of these sort of things, signs and elements?
Out of the thousands of people that attend Tea Party rallies, we are very hard-pressed to police any foolishness that you may see in those types of signs. And as I said earlier, we have discouraged and do denounce anyone who brings those types of signs to any of our rallies.
And I think
This
that's
is
what the
not what we're
NAACP
about.
is. That's what the resolution is about. And Ben Jella said he's not saying that the entire Tea Party or the Tea Party group that they are racist. He's saying that the Tea Party should denounce the racist elements. Do you agree or disagree with that?
We have denounced those elements, and we call upon the NAACP to denounce the murderous comments that were made by Panther members last week. If, in fact, we're going to play this particular game, then let's make it fair and balanced. If, in fact, they call on us to denounce a certain element of the right, then they must, too, come to the table and denounce certain elements that are evidently on the left.
Nice talking to you, Reverend C.L. Bryant, and a civil conversation as we should be talking about all issues. Thank you, sir.